And the wings of the wind understand your voices of wonder. Oh, here's the second of the herd. In the burning flames in the gases like yours. You might have to care.
Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Pauper roguishness. Today I'm here with a brand new deck tech. It's the deck I most like to play. It's called Grixis Zubera, and it's a very fun deck because mainly in order to get the deck rolling we have to sack all of our dudes at the same time, right? So let's get started. The land basis is pretty basic. We've got 4 guild gates, Dimir and Rakdos, 4 of each, a bunch of basics, 2 islands, 2 mountains, and 6 swamps, and 5 fetches, because we really need all of our colors running on at least turn 3 to get this deck rolling. And our the namesake of the deck are these 3 guys right here. So it's Floating Dream Zubera, Ember Fist Zubera, and Ashen Skin Zubera. And this is actually a very interesting card. These 3 actually, and other 4 more, because in the whole Magic scene, there are only 7 Zuberas that have ever been printed. So this ability is very questionable if you're making a deck. But since we now have access to changeling guys, such as this skeletal changeling and moth-dust changeling, and I added a single copy of Firebelly. And so we can have actually a bunch of Zuberas in the play, and then try to sack them all, and make this guy, which is one of our sack conditions. We're running 4 copies of Carrion Feeder because he's only 1 drop. But if we happen to have a lot of Zuberas on the battlefield, then on the late game this guy is also gonna help Tentacle Husk. So they're both gonna get big, and at the cost of nothing. Actually, we're gonna sack, and our opponent is going to discard a bunch of cards, take a lot of damage, and we are gonna draw a bunch of cards, and these guys are gonna get big enough for a huge swing. So this is the main idea of the deck. For basic removal spell, our standard removal spell is Lightning Bolt, of course. Not much to talk about it. Kill a guy, 3 in the face. It's always gonna be good. And we also have these, which is one of the best kill conditions you have if you are ever able to resolve it. It's called Devouring Greed. So as an additional cost to cast Devouring Greed, you can sacrifice any number of spirits, and in this case Zuberas are also spirits, so they are both Zubera and Spirit, all the 3 of them. So we can sacrifice any number of spirits, and target player is gonna lose 2 life, plus 2 life for each spirit we sacrifice this way. So if we happen to have 3 Zuberas on the battlefield, our opponent's gonna lose 8 life, and we're gonna win 8 life, besides the huge effects that these guys are going to make as soon as they die. So if you ever get this to resolve with a bunch of Zuberas on the battlefield, it's almost if it's not lethal, it's nearly lethal, and it makes very easy to finish off your opponent with a Lightning Bolt later on. And we also are running main decked 2 copies of Death Denied, and they're great to buy back our guys if we ever need to. Say we sack a lot of guys to Carrion Feeder or Tentacle Husk, we can buy them back end of turn, by paying any amount of mana we have available. So this is very good. The main question I had while bringing this deck together is I had to choose between red and white, because in white we have this other Zubera. I actually don't remember the name of him. I'm just gonna pop a picture of him right here. Its effect says when the Zubera dies, you gain 1 life for each Zubera that died this turn. And I decided I just rather have the extra amount of damage in the form of Ember Fist Zubera than the life gain. I chose red over white because of the sideboard. Sideboarding of red is much stronger than white. Speaking of which, let's move on to the sideboard. Our plan is pretty straightforward. We've got 4 Stone Rains for the post-control and post-storm matches, which are always so annoying. The post deck can go off in turn 3, so if you're on the play, Stone Rain is gold. Kill land, and our opponent is just gonna watch and cry, hopefully. The spell for counter spells, when we are afraid that our Devouring Greed is not gonna resolve, we bring these guys in so that we can counter the counter spell, right? Electricity for the aggro matches. Electricity is pretty self-explainable. Not much to talk about it. Smelt actually should be another copy of Smelt instead of 2 cremates. For the affinity matchup, cremate. If we ever have trouble with our opponent's graveyard, we can bring this in, and this figure also to the aggro matchups. So that's pretty much it. The deck is actually very fun to play with. Your opponent's never gonna know where this came from. You suddenly have 4 Zuberas on the battlefield, and then you cast the Devouring Greed, and suddenly he's at 8 life and no cards in hand, and you have a full grip. So that's actually very good if you ever get to resolve. Remembering, brewing this Pauper decks is more like a fun decks for me. I'm not trying to create anything very competitive. If they ever get to this point where they're competitive, I'm not gonna complain about it. But the main point here is just to have fun with this format, which I most like in Magic, and that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and favorite this video if you liked it. And so tune in for Grixis Zubera gameplays. I'm gonna be posting eventually some gameplays. And that's it. Thanks for watching again, and keep rocking.